Let's first talk about the marketing concept. The marketing concept is an important pillar concept in marketing, and it can be defined in the following manner: identifying or discovering customer needs in a given target market and satisfying those needs better than the competition. So a marketing concept is really about understanding what the customer needs are, and then trying to develop products and services that meets those needs better than the competition. This entails that the marketing concept is not an inside-out approach, but it takes an outside-in approach. So it reaches out to the market and tries to get a good pulse of the market and brings that knowledge inside the organization and develops plans and strategies to address the concerns that customers have by improving their processes, by delivering better, improved products and services. So this whole notion of the marketing concept is the bedrock principle that really sustains the discipline of marketing. A concept that is related to the marketing concept is the concept of market orientation. Now, the marketing concept is more of a theoretical, it's a philosophical idea, whereas the market orientation concept is about how can firms actually go about and implement or execute the marketing concept in reality. So it is about the implementation, the execution of the marketing concept within the organization in order to attain competitive advantage. And there's two different views towards market orientation. There is the behavioral view, which we will talk about shortly, and there's also the cultural view. So the market orientation can be approached from two different perspectives. The first is a behavioral view, and then the other is a cultural view. So an example that exemplifies the market orientation concept is Intel. The CEO of Intel once made a very interesting comment, and it goes as the following: every idea and technical solution should be focused on meeting customers' needs from the outset. So an innovative company, a technological company such as Intel, even realizes the importance of customers' needs, and they need to develop products that address those customers' needs. So it is, again, taking an outside-in approach as opposed to taking an inside-out approach. So the market orientation from a behavioral view is comprised of three elements. The first element is an organization-wide generation of market intelligence. Now, what that means is that the organization actually goes out into the market and collects information, intelligence about the market in general, about customers, about competitors, about the political environment, about the economic environment, about the cultural environment, macro, micro environment. So this first element, which is about generation of market intelligence, really underscores the importance of the organization reaching out to the outside of the organizational boundaries, and collecting information that is relevant to the market to better understand customers' needs. So this is the first element of market orientation. The second element of market orientation is the dissemination of that intelligence amongst departments. So once the organization has collected, generated such market intelligence, the next step is to share this, to communicate this, to disperse this knowledge across different functional areas within the organization. So it is not just the sales department, or it is not just the marketing department that monopolizes, that sits on such knowledge or information, but such information should be dispersed throughout the organization across different functional areas so that everyone within the organization is aware of what is important, what the trend is, what the pattern is in the market. The third element is organization-wide responsiveness to information. So once the information is disseminated, it's shared, it's communicated amongst different personnel, different functional areas within the organization has to do something about it. They have to respond to this in a quick manner, in a very responsive manner, in terms of improved services, in terms of upgraded products, in terms of making the process more efficient and effective. So the organization has to respond by taking advantage of the information that's been collected, that's been generated, and then returning an output, producing an output that advances and that benefits the market or the customers. This is the behavioral view of market orientation. Now let's take a look at the cultural view of market orientation. So, market orientation viewed from a cultural view is also comprised of three different elements. The first of which is customer orientation. So the underpinning here is that, a cultural view is more of a, it's a philosophical view. It's the way that business is done. And the focus is on the customers. It's listening to the customers. It's leading the customers. It's really, getting a good pulse of, what customers are thinking, where they're headed, and so forth. The second element is competitor orientation. So obviously, in order for an organization to do well, they need to be aware of, they need to be cognizant of what their main competitors are doing. So understanding, where the competitors are headed, what they're up to, what products or services they have in the pipeline. These are all important things that a company, that has a cultural view of market orientation is listening to. The third element is an interfunctional coordination. This interfunctional coordination is about, how different functional areas within the organization is able to share and communicate and disseminate, knowledge so that everyone is on top of the latest trends, the latest patterns of the market.